Welcome to Tea Time with Twombo. I'm Twombo and I am here to help you unclutter the inner clutter. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take it way back into time. Do you remember 2010? What were you doing in 2010? I can remember what I was doing in 2010, and when I sat down and actually did this exercise, I was pleasantly surprised and I was also mortified by some of the things that have happened in the last 10 years. But it was nice for me to go back and think, where was I in 2010 and what was I doing? And it helped me realize how far I've come. And it's really great for this exercise for you to go all the way back to 2010 and think, what was I doing then? And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to think about what has happened in the last 10 years in terms of your job. What kind of jobs did you work? What kind of career moves did you make that you're happy with and that you were not happy with? What kind of relationships did you have? Boyfriends, girlfriends, friendships, colleagues. What was your health like in the last 10 years? 10 years is a long time and is also not a very long time if you think about it. So what happened within these last 10 years? And what things made you really, really happy? And what things made you really, really sad? Things that you don't want to go back to. And if you are a person that likes to write things down on a piece of paper. I love to do that. Please go ahead and write this down. For example, in your job, what kind of job did you make? Did you make any progress? In the last 10 years, could you say you've made the progress that you wanted to make in your job? In your relationships, could you say that you've made progress in your body, in your health? Have you made progress in your mental health? What has that been like in the last 10 years? Look at it that way. Look at it over this long period of time. Usually we like to think about things in smaller chunks and it's really helpful. But it's also helpful to go back to a longer period, like 10 years, to see how things have actually flown together, how they've merged, how you have grown, how you haven't grown. And this is what is helpful with killing it in the next decade. You're going to figure out what you should have done more of. Should you have saved more money? Should you have been more outspoken? Should you have asked for more money at your workplace? Should you have been more loving? Should you have spent more time outdoors? Should you have taken care of your health better? So now that you've thought about where you were, in 2010, the things that have happened in the last 10 years, we're going to talk about how do they make you feel. Now, you can write down what felt absolutely amazing to do. Like, was it going on the trips? Was it being in love? Was it making more money? Was it speaking up for yourself? And then we're going to think about the things that really felt bad. Was it, being in that toxic relationship? Was it not speaking up for yourself? What things made you feel really, really great? And what things made you feel really, really bad when you thought about the last 10 years? And if you can pinpoint those things, then we can have a great next decade because you know what the next step is. So looking back at the last 10 years sounds pretty daunting, right? So what have we done? We have figured out where we were in 2010. We've thought about all the things that have happened in our lives in the last 10 years in terms of your career, in terms of your love life, in terms of your health, in terms of your mental capacity. You've thought about what felt really good, what you were proud of, what felt really bad, what you don't want to do anymore. And now you can make a little plan projecting into the next 10 years. What do you think you want for the next 10 years? The things that you said you're going to do more of. Going for more walks, doing more sport, saving a little more money. How are you going to do that in the next 10 years? How much money are you going to save in the next 10 years? Now is the time to make that plan. How are you going to be more loving in the next 10 years? 10 years sounds pretty daunting, but it's actually not that long when you think about it. It was 2010, 2 weeks ago. It is now going to be 2020. So a 10-year plan doesn't have to sound so daunting. It could just be about, I want to feel more this way in the next 10 years. I want to feel more healthy. I want to feel more secure. I want to feel more loved. I want to be more loving within the next 10-year period. So this has been Tea Time with Twombo. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Please go ahead and subscribe to the podcast, to the YouTube channel. I appreciate you and looking forward to sending you more information.